Wow, it looks like Bitcoin is trying to break out right now as we are making this video. But is Bitcoin really out of the woods yet? And have I already dumped my whole stablecoins back into Bitcoin? Guys, that will be the topic of today's video. We will be having a look at Bitcoin. We are going to have a look at the stablecoin dominance. We are going to have a look at the S&P 500. And I want to have a talk about some news articles like the London Stock Exchange that halts trading. And a big news event, guys, that is coming up today, which is the ruling of the SEC against Grayscale for a Bitcoin ETF. That's happening today, guys. So embrace yourself because we probably are going to see some volatility. Now, guys, let's jump straight into the content. If you like these videos, make sure to leave a thumbs up. If you are new, make sure to subscribe so we can stay connected during this bull market. Well, first of all, guys, Bitcoin is really trying to break out right here, and this is a macro declining channel. So this actually looks very, very bullish at the moment. And yeah, of course, we didn't expect Bitcoin to really get a decisive break from this channel. Is it possible? Yes, it's definitely possible. Have I poured my stablecoins already back into Bitcoin? No, the simple answer is no, because we haven't seen a breakdown yet in this chart. So that was the same with that pump that we have seen right here on the Bitcoin ETF news, where Bitcoin went to roughly $30,000. I also didn't buy into this pump. Of course, we opened some long positions on Bybit, but not my hodl position. I didn't re-enter Bitcoin right here because in this chart we haven't broken down yet. So right now we are touching the support on the stablecoin dominance, and of course we always can go a little bit below this white line. I want to see a decisive break of this support, and if we do get that decisive break of that support, then I'm definitely planning to flip my bias again and to change my stablecoins back into Bitcoin. But this could still result, guys. We are still at the edge. I just don't want to pour my money in at the potential resistance, or in this case support, right? Because if this turns out to bounce from these levels, then yeah, you just bought at the resistance, right? So then you can see your portfolio already coming down. If we look at the other stablecoin dominances in individual charts, so we have like the USDC coming to a support level, important support level as well, maybe forming a bullish divergence. Don't really know, it's too early to say, but these are some things that we are seeing on this chart. US dollar Tether also coming down right here, still has a little bit more space to touch a certain support, so that is also interesting to watch. But yeah, nevertheless, in the bigger pattern, there still is a ascending triangle, which has a higher likelihood of breaking out to the upside eventually, which would be bearish for Bitcoin. So that is still something that I'm watching right here. Nevertheless, if we break this one to the downside, still game on for Bitcoin. A lot of liquidity will most likely flow into Bitcoin. Then, guys, I want to bring your attention to the following, and that is the regular financial markets, because the S&P 500 yesterday actually went quite down here. We went to the levels of 4,278 roughly, and the interesting thing right here is that if we use the Fibonacci retracement tool, that we broke below the 61.80%. So today is going to be a very important day for the S&P 500, also actually for the Nasdaq and stuff. Guys, today is going to be very important for the regular financial markets, and that also going to be important for the narrative of Bitcoin, because if this thing is going to break down right here, then what does that mean for Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin going in the basket of risk on assets, or are we seeing a big conspiracy where BlackRock actually is promoting Bitcoin because he knows this thing would break down, where a big part of his portfolio would be in Bitcoin, which is going up to rebalance his portfolio while the stock market actually goes down? That is a crazy story, I know, but that is a possible story, because for me personally it's just very weird when I right now see in the news, I see BlackRock is positive about Bitcoin. JP Morgan suddenly is very positive about Bitcoin ETF. Why is the media suddenly super positive about Bitcoin? We know that we often get screwed by the media, right? So left or right, it doesn't really add up. So a couple of thoughts that I have is like, or they make us very bullish right now because something bad is going to happen, right? They need exit liquidity or whatever. Or they are preparing the public opinion for the coming bull market and to create this hype. Because you gotta imagine, guys, these guys, they basically use mind control on the society, basically, for the flow of money, the flow of liquidity. So they would position themselves, for example, in a certain stock, and once they have their full allocation, they start to put out news articles. Yeah, this is bullish, this and that, and this is happening, a new trend, and everyone gets crazy, dumps money in it, the price goes up, and they are taking the share out. And then the price dumps. So that's kind of how it works. They are manipulating on a big scale. So when I'm seeing these positive articles from BlackRock and JP Morgan, it just gives me a little bit of an alarm. Like, okay, what do they want me to think? What is their agenda? And so far, I can't really figure it out. But it's just weird, to me, honest. So the regular financial markets has definitely some reclaiming to do in order to become a little bit more bullish, because this is so far kind of looking sketchy. If we were to break the support right here, we could see a free fall in the regular financial markets. And again, big question is going to be, will it drag Bitcoin down? I would stand on that side. I think that is a higher probability. Or do we see like something that BlackRock is really playing this like this, so it has like a big part of his portfolio already in Bitcoin, pumps Bitcoin with positive news, make sure the price of Bitcoin goes up while the regular financial markets comes down to rebalance his portfolio? I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Then when we have a look at the VIX, we can see that the VIX is also breaking some resistance right here, which again is bearish for the regular financial markets. And then something interesting happened, guys, and that was on the London Stock Exchange yesterday. They halted trading in many stocks due to an issue. And if you look at this article, you can see that the last time we have had an issue was June 2018. What I found interesting is that when you go back to June 2018 in the regular financial markets, so if you go to June 2018, you can also see right here that after we had that error, we also came down, right? But we didn't lost the channel. We eventually went up, and then we lost the channel, and then we had that massive crash with the fall of the Lehman Brothers, right? Maybe we can see something similar here as well, where we still hold this uptrend, but maybe we do get a breakdown right now as well. Of course, the chances of a breakdown, guys, is of course very slim, right? It's very low, because these breakdowns with a massive free fall happens once every, I don't know how many years, but it's not really your daily stock market price action, right? So I just wanted to point out, because it just is weird, like, why at these points of at these climax points we are seeing stuff like this, where London Stock Exchange halts trading in many stocks. Today we have Grayscale ruling against the SEC. I don't know exactly what time. I think this article doesn't state it, but it basically says like that on October 20, Friday, the court that sided with Grayscale is set to deliver a mandate to the SEC. So guys, the court's upcoming decision will determine if the SEC must revisit Grayscale's ETF application. Due to the recent rulings potentially avoiding a reapplication, this situation coincides with a sudden change in the SEC approach. So probably we get some news from there as well. When we have a look at the Fear and Greed Index, I just wanted to have a quick look at this. We can see that this one is trending up, but it's not yet at greedy territory, right? So maybe this still goes to greedy territory before we are rolling over. Some other remarks I want to say, guys, is that yeah, I'm still sidelined. I'm still waiting for this chart to break down, which I'm going to be honest, can happen any moment. And I'm also going to be honest, I didn't see that as the higher likelier higher likelihood situation. But nevertheless, it is what it is. And if this thing's breaking down, I'm very happy to change my perspective. But so far, I'm not going to react yet. I'm going to wait patiently because I have multiple reasons. That is, I think the regular financial markets is just not looking too good. This looks like, I don't know, it just looks a little bit like panic could start occur. I want to see how this is going to resolve today. What is going to happen? Are we going to bounce from these levels, or are we actually maybe do see a breakdown right here? What is going on with the regular financial markets? Because we do see a lot of warning signals. The Bitcoin is actually just doing the opposite, right? Bitcoin is just looking like it's breaking macro resistance, which is very, very bullish right here. But nevertheless, I'm not convinced yet until I see a breakdown of this chart, because this is the chart that we have been looking at already for quite some time, which has been helping us very much in when to long and when to short Bitcoin, when to expect an up move, when to expect a down move. And then we also at the end of October, November is generally known to be a bearish month for crypto, so maybe seasonality could play a role in there as well. Who knows? I just don't want to right now panic with my portfolio, because of course I also feel that bullishness in the markets. I can feel the sentiment. I can scroll on Twitter and I see all these bullish charts, but still I am going to wait right here until we are seeing a very clear break of structure, which looks like this is right now, but that could also be right here, right? So we can also break back in. So just to lower that risk and don't panic don't make any emotional moves. I'm just gonna wait and see how this is going to resolve. And yeah, the next 60-day cycle low will be in December. That will be roughly between the 10th and 20th of December. So that is going to be an important level to watch as well. Important time to watch. I do think that if Bitcoin really breaks out right here and the stablecoin dominance breaks down, I do think that we are basically seeing that 16-year cycle that I've been talking about already for the whole year on my channel. I do think that we are seeing that one playing out. So that also means that if we do get an acceleration phase early in the bull market, that the bull market top will be lower than when we get that acceleration phase later, for example in 2024. Because you have to look at the markets the following. So we need time to create a bottom. We need time to create strong hands. We need time to build up bullish momentum, right? And we didn't have that much time to do that right now. So if we right now enter the acceleration phase of the bull market, then it is possible that we could see an early top, and that is followed by a multi-year long bear market, like the 16-year cycle we have been talking about, right? I guess for most of you guys that is quite clear how that image would look. So we have normally 4-year cycles, which is 3 years up, 1 year down, 3 years up, 1 year down, 3 years up, 1 year down. Only the last cycle is flipped, which is 1-2 years up and 2 to 3 years down. So yeah, guys, this is basically the analysis of today. Very exciting times. Like I said, I'm happy to re-enter Bitcoin the moment this thing is breaking down, and we just get a decisive breakdown, and we cannot deny that, yeah, okay, this chart broke down. Definitely I will be the one who going to change my perspective and going to re-enter. And yes, I did, if that were to be the case, I did get a worse entry for Bitcoin, but nevertheless, I'm still very happy with my decision. So guys, I'm very happy to elaborate on that. So right here, when Bitcoin was trading at 16,000, we basically went all in, right? I put like all the money that I have basically in Bitcoin. Then here we took 50% out. So we had a 65% increase on all the money, right? So that's a very good trade for a year. If you have 65% in a year, that is awesome. So I'm very happy. I'm very grateful with this trade. I'm very grateful to have the cojones to jump all in on the bottom. And yeah, I was also screaming that over on YouTube. I was screaming that over on Twitter. Here, when we break down, I actually took half of it out, and I don't regret that, even though we go up right here, because there are always multiple scenarios, right? If this thing would have come down right here and we would fully retrace this move, then all of these gains would be for nothing, right? And there was a decent chance that this is going to happen. There is still a chance it's still going to happen, right? Even after this rally, the chances are decreasing the higher Bitcoin goes, but there still is a chance, right? And even though I exit right here, I can always enter right here, and then I would have a loss of, let's say, wait, maybe I put the other way around, loss of, let's say, roughly around 15%, which for me is totally fine, because then the chances of this reversing back to the lows right here is significantly smaller than it was right here. So guys, it's all about risk taking and whatnot, right? So I'm happy I made this trade, which was very profitable, and I'm also happy to re-enter when Bitcoin is seeing a nice breakout. For now, like I said, based on my risk and based on my strategy, which is also the only thing that I'm sharing right here, I'm still going to be sidelined and waiting for a more decisive structure to re-enter. So I enter basically with less risk, because if these things come down, I still can buy Bitcoin cheaper. But if it breaks up, I think the outcome is going to be very important on how the bull market of Bitcoin is going to look like. So I would say there is definitely a higher probability of the 16-year cycle, which means that the bull market is also shorter lived. It will have a lower top, and it will be ending with a very long bear market. And guys, that bear market is actually looking pretty, getting pretty closer. But that's something we are going to talk about into another video, because that's way too early to talk about right now. We are at the start of the bull market of Bitcoin, where I talk already about the bear market. But I definitely think that the magnitude of the next bear market is way deeper than the bear markets we have seen before. And you need a particular strategy to survive that. Otherwise, it's going to be very, very difficult. Okay, guys, that was it for today's video. If you liked it, make sure to leave a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe. I wish you all a beautiful day, and I hope to see every single one of you in the next video.